A better route. Chapter 93. The whole gang had gathered around the intended destination to finally see Naruto, Kakashi, and Mito return for the first time in months. Word had spread around since yesterday that they had completed their sage training, much to Obito's and everyone else's excitement, and they weren't the only ones. The council hadn't this ecstatic of news like this since the end of the Third Great Ninja War. Having 3 sages of legendary animal summoning contracts being a part of the Leaf Village was a feat itself that barely any other major nation could topple. For the Hidden Leaf could itself a powerful array of shinobi, not to mention that one of the sages was a freaking Jinchuriki and had another tailed beast to top that. Hell, it was also impressive knowing that there were 2 living Kages and damn Sannin. It appeared that the Hidden Leaf wasn't just getting strong, they might as well be considered worthy of the fact that they stemmed from 2 of the most famous shinobis who ever existed, and it seemed they were just reaching to what the peak of their strength contained. Speaking of the Hidden Leaf, all of the Rookie 12 and their senseis, minus the 3 arriving through the Seal and Jiraiya, were present at the main gate waiting for their comrades for Obito to activate that linked between the 2 separate locations. The only one who wasn't present at the main gate, that wasn't dead or on the opposite side of the seal, was Sai. The seals were designed so that when chakra was added to them, they could travel between from one place to another. As Obito approached the seal, he turned his head back to the crowd of people eagerly awaiting their friend's arrival. He could clearly see that look in their eyes said that they all anxious to see them after so long, and to how far they've come. Knowing he wasted enough time as it was, he could only ask one last question to everyone before activating the seal: is everybody ready? Shikamaru looked as lazy as ever and could only shrug and answer, I could use a nap before they get here, I'm feeling kind of tired. Obito sighed and rolled his eye while just thinking to himself, is there ever a time when this kid ever not lazy? Anybody actually need anything important? No one responded. Then I'm going to start the process. Everyone watched in anticipation as Obito channeled as much chakra as he needed into his hands and then slammed them onto the first seal. As smoke rose from the scroll, 3 silhouettes could be seen in the smoke. Once it was cleared, the silhouettes now showed a figure that could be now recognized as Naruto, who was standing next to the 2 Hyugas with a big grin on his face. Start up the party because I am back. As soon as they appeared, everyone couldn't stop himself or herself from bursting out laughing, seeing as how their blonde-haired comrade never changed. Fu was the first to recover from the humorous introduction by shaking her head side to side. It's good to have you back, Naruto. Things were different without you around. Naruto smiled and nodded back to his green-haired companion. It's good to be back, Fu. Hinata and Neji walked alongside Naruto, before taking note of the people around them. So we're the first ones to be summoned, huh? Well then let's not keep the others waiting too long. Come on. Obito could only smile as his mind was filled with memories of happiness flooding back to him, from the time his parents adopted him under their own care, to where Naruto was born, and until finally of him leaving off to train. There were so much of his parents in him to make feel a sense of nostalgia as well. Before long, Obito started the procedure for another scroll as he was thinking the same thing Naruto was, it would be my pleasure. He came up to the second scroll and again focused his chakra as it channeled into his hand's chakra, slamming his hands on the scroll and repeating the process. Only this time when the smoke cleared, 2 figures showed what to be a Kakashi and Konan, who were standing there as the smoke was continuing to clear up. Alright, I'm back and ready to kick some ass. Konan stood next to him and sighed, I thought we both agreed you wouldn't say that first thing you got back. Kakashi nervously scratched the back of his head. Technically, I said, I'd think about it. Rin was the first one to take action by rushing over to her son's position and grabbing him into a fierce hug. It's good to see you again, sweetie. Did you enjoy your little trip? Kakashi shot Konan a quick side glance. Oh, I enjoyed it all right. I enjoyed every last little detail about it. Rin noticed their glances at one another, but knew it probably best if she said nothing about it. She was Kakashi's age once after all and had an idea of what was going through his mind. Rin wasn't the only person enthusiastic to see Kakashi back. Obito was happy to see his son as well. He made a joke about it too. So you're a sage, huh? That's pretty cool, but it's meaningless in terms of being within the village borders, especially since I still outrank you. Kakashi knew that his dad was screwing him and thought it just would best to laugh along with him. Yeah, but I outrank almost everybody else. Heck, I even outrank Enko-sensei now. Enko heard the smart Talaki remark and could be heard yelling from the crowd, "Son of a bitch." As Kakashi turned his head, he saw Naruto and nodded to him. "Hey man, how's it going?" Naruto gave a quick response by walking over to him and gave the man a quick hug. "Pretty damn good, how about you?" Kakashi hugged him back. "I can't complain, besides nobody would listen if I did." Naruto smirked. "You've damn right about that. Hey Uncle Obito, I think Mito's been waiting long enough and would agree if she could." Obito figured that Naruto was probably right and was sure that Mito was impatient to why it was taking so damn long. He repeated the process for the seal one last time, and as the smoke cleared, the last 5 remaining people were reunited with their peers. Just when Mito was about to say something, Lee screamed out in joy, "Yash! We have returned, so let our flames of youth howl even louder than when before we left." Whatever energy was with Mito was now all suddenly deflated from her body. She could look at her mother. "Can I get this one?" Tsunade smirked. "Yup, make me proud." Mito turned around and smacked Lee over that head, i.e. like Gibbs from NCIS, "Calm the fuck down Lee, we haven't been here for at least a minute and you're already overreacting." Obito chuckled. "Looks like you've been more like your mother than before you left." Mito watched as Lee rubbed his head in pain. Clearly there is no better teacher in the world when it comes to bashing people on the head. Just as her friends were about to ask Mito a question, a bark arose from her hair. The group looked at her quizzically, then Shikamaru pointed to her head. Did your hair always do that?" Mito pulled Soku off of her head and smiled. "Sorry, he likes sleeping on the top of my head and can mistaken as my hair because they're the same color." Naruto saw the whole group was together again. "The gang's all here, so we might as well celebrate about it. What do you guys want to do?" Choji had something already intended. "I took the liberty of reserving one of my clan's restaurants so we could all sit down and get a bite to eat as a reunion. We've all been so damn busy lately that thinking a nice relaxing lunch would be perfect. Plus, I've got a surprise for you guys." It had been at least a week since Kabuto had told Sai how to contact the Sound 5 and could only pray to Kami nothing had gone wrong because he hadn't spoken to him in at least a week since their last. He'd been so worried that he felt like he was on the brink of going to go insane if he didn't get to talk to him soon. Thankfully, Danzo's voice was able to distract from his troubling thoughts at what he said had specifically caught his attention. "It's about damn time you got here, Sai. While I don't need to know what was so important enough to keep me waiting, I'll get straight to the point in saying I've got a mission for you." Sai stared at the bandaged man with loathing in his eyes. "I've been here the same time as I do every week, Danzo, don't start bitching at me." Danzo couldn't help but think how lucky Sai was vital to his work, or he wouldn't be getting away with speaking to him in such a disrespectful manner like that. Danzo started to speak about what the mission was going to cover. "I've got some stragglers who seem to think they're allowed to be able to break away from route without any consequences. I need you to show them the error of their ways and send a clear message to them. As long as it's completed within 2 weeks, I don't really care what specific type of method you use." Sai almost told him no on the spot, but then remembered the real purpose he came here. "All right Danzo, I'll get right to it. I've just got a few things I've got to gather up around here first so I can be properly prepared." Danzo was glad to see he wasn't fighting this anymore and thought the boy was finally starting to accept the reality of his situation. However, it was opposite. He had actually no idea at coup that was being staged between 2 unlikely allies. As the boy walked over to the desk Kabuto was at, he made it look like he was looking for something on the desk. Sai started up the Morse code again. I got the message out to the sound 5. To avoid any suspicion, I made it look like you were the one who sent it. They're much more likely to trust you than me. Kabuto grinned at hearing that, but kept his composure and just tapped back. Good move. Are they going to be here before a fortnight has passed? I don't want you to have to get blood on your hands. Sai could see Danzo was starting to get suspicious. Unlike the root members where they almost knew nothing on how to translate Morse code, Danzo was a different story. So he just quickly tapped out, they'll be here. I've gotta go before a certain someone is aware, good luck. Kabuto had to fight back a gleeful smirk as Sai pretended like he'd found what he was looking for on the desk and went to leave Danzo's base. Their plan was turning out perfectly, and the best part was that the old Warhawk was oblivious to the fact that the gates of hell were about to be opened and everyone around him was just itching to throw him inside. There was really no other way to put it, he was fucked. The Akimichi restaurant that Choji was taking them to had taken in account to the fact that they were going to serve a great number of people and had to prepare specific dishes for specific people. Naruto's endless hunger for the food was well known throughout the Land of Fire and they weren't gonna take any chances on running out. However, nothing had prepared them for the special guests Choji had coming to eat with them as well. As the group walked in, Naruto got surprise at who he was now looking at entering the restaurant and coming to visit. Gaara, what in the hell are you doing here? While I'm not pleased at seeing you here, I thought you were made the Kazekage? Holy crap! Is that Temari and Kankuro too? The redhead stood up and said hello to the group along with his siblings. What can I say, I needed a break. Being a Kage is not all fighting heroic battles against enemy forces. Obito knew exactly at how Gaara was feeling. You have no idea. When I first took the position as Hokage, I thought I was going to be having to fight in every waking moment of my life. But I've actually just got enough paperwork to drown in the office. Fu was happy to see her fellow Jinchuriki once again and could only greet in a friendly manner. About time I saw my favorite Tanuki container again. Have you been slacking off on your tailed beast training? Gaara's just chuckled at his fellow green-haired Jinchuriki's joking manner. I'm the Kazekage Fu, I've got to keep myself as strong as possible. That means I can't slack even a little bit. Fu had a sly smirk present on her face now, even when Sakura comes to visit you. While Gaara did turn a little red, he quickly calmed right back down and said, I train when Sakura comes about as much as you train when Shino's around. Fu was glad to see he still had a sense of humor. Fair point, Sandman. Shikamaru was actually glad to see his girlfriend. Hey Temari-chan, how come you didn't tell me you were coming? It would have been troublesome, but I would have at least tried to get you something. Temari had to be honest with her boyfriend. Lazy boy, I love you, but when it comes to giving gifts you're just as lazy as you are with everything else. Shikamaru was about to comment something against her before closing his mouth shut at knowing she was right. Yeah, but the fact that I'm willing to be active about it must mean something, right? Temari walked over and gave him a kiss on the cheek to reassure him. From you, it means a lot. Kankuro was already in conversation with Tenten. It's been way too long since we've gotten together. Tenten licked her lips. Oh yeah, too damn long. Shikamaru's eyes widened and turned to whisper to Temari, do those two have an off switch? Temari motioned to Gaara and Sakura who were kissing like mad. Must run in the family. Sakura heard that and jumped a little. She pulled away from Gaara laughing nervously. Hee, it's really nice to see you again, Gaara-kun. Gaara was blushing. Good to see you as well, Sakura-chan. Obito, who had known they were coming as he had approved of the visit, was now beginning to talk to Choji. Don't count yourself out, I got special visitor for you too. Choji gulped and asked, who is it? A girl's voice came from behind him. Who do you think it is? I've missed you, my big old teddy bear. Wow, I love this new hair you've gotten, it's very long and makes you look handsome. Choji was stunned when he heard a familiar voice behind him. He turned around and got a blast from the past as he saw that Kuratsuchi was standing behind him. She wasn't kidding about liking his new hair, which was now long and spiky. He was shaking nervously, but did his best to keep his cool. "Hey Kuratsuchi-chan, what are you doing here?" Kuratsuchi wrapped her arms around him. "Oh, your Hokage was able to work out a compromise with the old man and the elders from my village so I could come and see you. I really missed you, you know. The guys back at the Hidden Rock are all a bunch of assholes." Choji noticed she had started to lean in closer. "Is that so?" Kuratsuchi's face got even closer and brought her voice down to a whisper. "They really made me regret not doing anything while was here." Choji got the idea. "Well, if you really did regret it." Kuratsuchi was done waiting. "Enough talk, Choji-kun." She finally closed the gap in between their lips and Choji's eyes rolled into the back of his head. Shikamaru was smiling in the background. "It's about damn time. See you in the next one."